They come in conjugate pairs because they came from a square root. And every time you square root something, you have a positive and a negative root from it. All right, will you please write down this example? I'm going to zoom in so that you see everything. And we are working the answers, the zeros. Y'all, it's the degree of 5. I drew 5 lengths. We know one of the answers. We can go ahead and write negative 2i right here. Another answer has to be the positive part of that. So we know 2 answers. The other answer we know for sure is positive 2i. So every single time you are given an answer with an I, you get a 2 for 1. You know 1 is positive and you know 1 is negative. All right, we're going to solve. So remember, in order for us to solve, we want to factor. Good try on factoring that. That's not factorable. So we're going to have to do synthetic division. And remember, when you do synthetic division, you needed an answer bank. Y'all, we have an answer bank right here. We know for sure these are going to work. So we're going to use synthetic division with this. All right, so I'm going to draw an upside down division box. It is going to take the entire length of my paper. Again, this is one of those lessons where you don't need to try to conserve space. You spread this stuff out. All right, this is to the degree of 5. All of my degrees are represented. I don't need any zeros for a placeholder. So I'm going to write these coefficients down, spread them out. And we are dividing by what was given to us. So we're going to put a negative 2i out here. And we're about to get in the weeds. It's about to get a little crazy. Okay, so let me kind of zoom out and let me organize my stuff a little better. Okay, here we go. Synthetic division. Y'all know what to do. You bring the first number down. So that's going to be a negative 2i times a 1, which is negative 2i. Let's put it here. And remember, you got to combine straight down. Y'all can't combine a real and an imaginary. So just stick them together. So this is going to be negative 3 minus 2i. And now I have to multiply negative 3 minus 2i times this. I'm going to show my work right here. So here we go. Negative 2i times negative 3 minus 2i. Distribute. Settle down. Pay attention to negatives. Pay attention to I squared. So a negative 2i times a negative 3 is a positive 6i. Negative times a negative is a positive. A negative 2i times a negative 2i is going to be a positive 4i squared. But hold on, what does I squared equal? It equals negative 4. Let me get this out of the way. So again, this is 6i plus 4 times a negative 1. So guys, when we clean that up, that is negative 4 plus 6i. That goes here. Combine straight down. All you do is combine the negative 4's. That's all you can do. So when you combine the negative 4's, we're going to get negative 8 plus 6i. And we're going to just do it all over again. We're going to have to multiply these two now. So it's going to be negative 2i times negative 8 plus 6i. Distribute. Be careful. Negative 2i times negative 8 is a positive 16i. A negative 2i times a positive 6i is a negative 12i squared. So what happens to that negative 12? What does it turn into? Turns into positive. Yes, great job. So this is going to be 12 plus 16i. That goes right here. All right, we are going to combine straight down. So when we combine straight down, we're just going to combine the 12s. So 24 plus 16i. Here we go. We're going to have to distribute. So now it's going to be negative 2i times that, the 24 plus the 16i. All right, so negative 2i times the positive 24, y'all, that's a negative 48i. A negative 2i times a positive 16i is a negative 32i squared. And that 32 is going to turn into a positive. So this is positive 32 minus 48i. And that goes here. All right, so those 32s cancel, but y'all remember, y'all, this is a 0. Like, this has to miraculously turn into a negative 96 right there, or we did something wrong. These have to cancel out at the end. Let's keep going. So negative 32 and positive 32 cancel out, so this is going to be a negative 48i. We're going to have to multiply. Let's hope it turns into negative 96. So negative 2i times a negative 48i. Negative 2 times negative 48 is a positive 96. And I times I is I squared, and we did it. That turns into a negative 96. Whew. Remember, that has to be a 0 right there. All right, cool. You are officially in the weeds. Look at this answer. This is a polynomial, but oh my stars, those are coefficients for a polynomial, and those are ugly. So what we're going to do is we're going to synthetically divide one more time using that other answer that we know we have, and it's going to clean up. It's going to be so pretty after this. Let's draw one more upside down division box. And that top row for our next division box is going to be what I highlighted. So it's going to be 1. It's going to be negative 3 minus 2i. Negative 8 plus 6i. And 24 plus 16i. And don't forget about the negative 48i. And this time, we're going to divide by 2i. So put a positive 2i out there. All right, here we go. Y'all know what to do. Bring the first number down, and here's where the beautiful magic happens. 2i times 1 is just 2i, so that goes here. Look, see how they cancel out? So pretty. Bring down that negative 3. 2i times negative 3, bless you, is negative 6i, and then magic continues to happen. Bring down that negative 8. 2i times negative 8 is negative 16i. Bring down that 24. 2i times 24 is a positive 48i. We did it. We got ourselves out of the weeds.